So, love one, this is a new day in my life, more precisely a new morning. And today we'll just do this video because yesterday I just didn't do video. And this is a pretty, badly. And I know that, and this is not really good. You know, actually yesterday I just, passed away about a lot of things. I just started to do some things that I'm really proud about. I just arrived to a really, big thing that I just really wanted to tell you. But then eventually I just did a mistake in the end of the day. I just wanted to continue and work out my project, and in eventually I don't really know if actually it was because of the noise or because of actually something else, but it's never mind. Because in eventually I just arrived to a position that I just work on my project, instead of work, instead of actually do working out, and I just was so fucking tired. I just spent time about that. I just didn't arrive to really answer, and I just fall for asleep before I just do nothing. And I think it's absolutely, a badly thing. But for right now, I think that I will fix this thing. So for right now, I don't really know if I remember, the thing that I just wanted to talk about, you know, in yesterday, because yesterday I just arrived to a really different answers, a really different thing with my life. So yeah, I think that I just slightly off remember. I don't really know if I will order this thing in this video. So first, for right now, as I just said, I just tried to buy something with my slightly money that I just have. And this is almost impossible, but it's never mind, because it's not the point that I just try to, to send you. Because the point is, I just arrived to position on my life that it's no matter if I will just do this really big step or if I will just don't do this really big step, because I just arrived to position on my life that my life is good. And it's not like when I just was leaving my country, it was a really fucking suffering time, a really fucking suffering period, because I just couldn't fucking bought nothing, and everything was cost 10 times the fucking, what I pay right now. Everything, and my life was a pretty badly, and that was a question and a big step that I just know that if I will just, take this step, I will just arrive to the life that I want. Or, if I will don't take this step, I will just continue to live a suffering life and a suffering position and everything like that. And this is a really big step, because you just need to order your mind that you will, do this step. You will live in other country in your age, and you will order this thing, and you just ready to suffer all the thing that it's actually cost you. And I think that the point here is, I just was in a position that if I take this step, I will just arrive to this life, or if I will don't take this step, I will just arrive to a really suffering life. But right now, it's a first time that I can say that I just arrive for a point that I don't, feel like that. I don't feel that if I will take this big step that I just tried to take, I will just leave a really suffering position. And I will just be in a really suffering point. Because, every time that was like that, okay? When I just was leave on a really, really, really badly place, that a lot of people yelling about me, a lot of people fucking. I just needed to fucking disconnect with so many people that, consider, you know, close connect with me, because it was a suffering connection, and I just leave so fucking many places and did so fucking many big steps with my life, and make difference in all of myself at this period of time that I just didn't work in nothing. I just didn't make the money in nothing. And I think that after all this period of time, after all this, point of the thing that I just passed away, I arrived to a point that it's not really necessary to take this point. It's really necessary, okay? It's really necessary that I just will have, a place that I can, live as I want without any fucking pressure about the money, without any, this feeling that every fucking, slightly of money make me pressure. It's a really, it's really nice life to live without this rent. But eventually, it's not a really necessary point as actually was like the previous points that actually, was in this period of time. Because look at this, okay? In the first, I just pass away and leave, you know, a place that was a really, really, really suffering for me and really badly for me, and I just suffering every day about this place, and I just disconnect with the people that consider close to me, because that was a really fucking suffering people, and I just really proud about that. That was a really big step, and think about that. If I just wasn't do this thing, I just was really stuck in this position, in this mind, in this everything. I just wasn't connect and wasn't, grow for the point that I want. The next step was after I just, move from my dad. I just moved from my dad, and I just needed to move also for, other place, other department, with myself, by myself, and everything was surprisingly, because in a one shot, in a one day, you just understand that it's not for you, because there is something that just arrive to the next level of a badly, and this is become a really necessary that you will don't, come again for this place, and you will find your place. And it was a really hardly step, because look, I just was without any fucking home in this period of time, in these several days, and And it was really hardly because between this step and between this step, it was or Elior that continue to suffer this thing and continue to just eat the thing that he don't like to eat, or Elior do the fucking next step. And Elior did the fucking next step. And after Elior did the fucking next step, the most good step that he just could do in this point, maybe, he also arrived to a position that he can't live in this thing because, the life was so fucking expensive. The people was so fucking badly. The weather was so fucking badly. The apartment was so fucking bad. It was so fucking bad. The emotional I just have with the people that connection with me needed to fix, and that took a time. And I just needed to change a lot of things on my fucking head and spoke about a lot of things that actually was, sit about me. And, and eventually this period of time was a really hardly. And more than it was a really hardly, between this currently step, between this currently point that I in right now, and between the previous point, this is a pretty big change, okay? So the point here, it's right now I just arrive to a place that I don't really have a really big changing on my life if I will, buy a place or if I will don't buy a place. Because eventually I can live approximate, a crazy life and a crazy period of time, with my slightly money that I get. And that will be okay. And I can, make the same amount of money in a fucking month, maybe fucking, slightly more in my country in a really, normal well. Pach, 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 pach. I don't know. I just can't fucking spoke clearly in the morning. I don't know why. And, and eventually, if I will do this next step, I will just live a really more better life. And I will just arrive to a really, more nicely and good and in improving life. But then eventually it's not, a question between a really badly to a slightly less badly. Because it's feel like the big badly thing just passed away of me. I just have a question right now between a good or a goodest. Okay, do you understand what I mean? And that's what I just feel right now. I feel that I have already a nicely, a very nicely, life. A really cheap life that I just, looking forward when I leave my country in order to live this life, when I just consider all the fucking, things and